Hey y'all, if you are already subscribed, welcome back my darling, and if this is your first time stopping by or you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe and join a part of the Morgan Beauty Gang. So like I've been mentioning in every video, there's going to be a secret emoji in here somewhere. If you comment it down below, it will give you an extra entry into my 100 subscriber giveaway, and all you have to do to enter is be subscribed. Be subscribed. 60-something% of y'all don't subscribe. Join a part of the family, and that way you can be in my giveaway. So today we have a highly requested part 2 of weird things that I thought when I was a child. You all asked for it. You all said, Morgan, you're right. You were a weird child. But we want to hear more of the weird shit you thought when you was a kid. And so today, I'm going to bring you some more. I literally have a whole notepad of just random notes and whatever. And in this notepad, I have 88 things of weird things I thought when I was a child. Just randomly written down. Not one, I think's more worse than the other. Just randomly written. And today I'm going to share a few more of those. If you like this video and you want to see a part 3, because honey, we could probably do 6 parts to this, please get this video to 20 likes. That's right. We're going to double it up, double or nothing. 20 likes, and I will make a part 3 to weird things I thought when I was a child. So without further ado, I just want to remind you all that for your convenience, all of my social media where I go live and do makeup looks like this right here, like I did tonight. I go on and chat with you guys all the time and Snapchat you guys. All of my social media is linked right down below for you guys to go and follow me. I want to talk to you guys. I want to get to know you guys. Please go follow me. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into part 2 of weird things I thought when I was a kid. So when I was little, I remember hearing my pappy say to somebody, I can't remember who he was talking to, but he told them that mascara was made out of bat crap, like bat poop. So ever since he said that, like that was stuck in my head. And I remember for the longest time, like thinking that that is all mascara was. Like solely just bat poop, and that's what bats were for. They were here to make us mascara. Whether or not bat poop is actually in mascara, I don't know, but I do remember him saying that. Also used to think that diapers, you know how they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. I used to think that you had to wear diapers until that age. So I thought that those were for ages. So I thought that, a size 1 was a diaper that you wore when you were 1. 2, you wore when you were 2, so on and so forth. I also used to think that alcohol that you could buy in the pharmacy, like alcohol pads and just rubbing alcohol, was alcohol, like liquor. I used to think it was liquor. And I remember one time, a friend of mine and me were in CVS, and we were there with my grandmother, and we were in the aisle where alcohol and all that stuff is. We were getting Band-Aids, and I remember seeing alcohol, and I was like, we should get us some alcohol and get drunk. We were like 7. I don't even know what I was thinking. And she was like, yeah, we should. Like both of us thought that was like alcohol, and we were about to get toasted. I also used to think that like Disney princesses were real people, like actual people. And I remember pitching a fit and crying when my nanny and pappy would not drive me to go see Cinderella. Like I wanted to go see her. And I also remember one time we were hiking somewhere. I can't remember where we were. And you remember that scene in Sleeping Beauty where it shows like the godmother's house, like in the middle of the woods. And she's there and she's like cleaning up all of the house, like with, the mops cleaning. It's like all magic or whatever. I remember us being in the woods and me asking my pappy, can we go to, is Belle's house around here somewhere? Like, how do we get there? Like, I genuinely, for real, thought these were real life. I also used to think that our mail came specifically from the mailman. Okay, so I thought that they made out the bills. They done all that, and they brought us the mail. Like, they were in charge of everything, and I used to have conversations with, like, grown-ups about how you better be nice to your mailman and you better give him a Christmas gift because he makes up how much your light bill's going to be and how much your water bill's going to be. Like, I thought, you know, he brought the mail, so he's in charge of all the bills, you know. Duh. I also used to be petrified of horses. Petrified of horses. I used to go spend like every single summer, like a week or two out of it with my cousin Chelsea. We were best friends growing up. We were only 7 days apart, and because of that, we were very close. And she had a friend, I can't exactly remember, I was very, very young, but she had like a friend that lived on a farm, and they had like this area by a creek that they called Fern Gully, and she had horses, and I remember them riding the horses, and I was petrified. I would scream and cry. The reason why I was so scared of horses, you guys, is because I thought they were half human, half animal. Like, I thought something was wrong with them, and I thought that they were just like evil, up until I remember reading a book about horses, and I was old enough, but nobody ever like corrected me, and I guess I was never around horses like that for somebody to be like, no. But for a very like not normal amount of time, I thought that horses were half human, half animal. Like, I'm talking middle school before I realized this. Yeah. Like, not normal. I also used to think that, okay, so say you eat at Pizza Hut and you have pizza there, okay? You now think that they create pizza. And if anybody else serves pizza, they're copycats. Okay, that's what I thought. So let me give you an example of when I got debunked on this. Okay, so again, with my nanny and pappy, we were out of town. My nanny at the time was president of the Gold Star Mothers. If you don't know what the Gold Star Mothers are, I'll have a definition of what they are on the screen right now. We were at a convention for the Gold Star Mothers, okay? And we were eating at this restaurant, and the guy brought the menu over there, and one of my favorite foods, I don't want to even hear that they're bottom feeders. I don't care. I'm from Tennessee and I love catfish, okay? It's one of my favorite foods. And they had catfish on the menu, and I'm holding the menu. I'm probably around, I don't know, 7. And I say, you cannot serve catfish. You cannot. Our restaurant in Tennessee serves that. You're copying. And I remember my pappy just dying laughing and being like, honey, they can still serve it. You know, it's not trademarked like a Big Mac, okay? So I told you guys that I had a lot of weird thoughts when it came to cars. A lot of weird thoughts, okay? Just to name a couple of more, you know, like in 4Runners or certain cars like that, vans, there's different cars where the antenna will electronically come out. I used to think that if your antenna did that, like my pappy's old ass Dodge truck did, that your car was an alien transporter. So your car could like take you to space. I thought that that was like beam me up Scotty type stuff, okay? I really and truly thought this deep in my soul, okay? And I remember one time my pappy cutting on the truck and me saying, I wonder if they're ever just going to let us go up there. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was probably around, I don't know, probably around the same age as the catfish thing, maybe around 7 or 8. And I was like, the aliens, they keep popping that antenna out, but they don't ever take us up there. And he's like, baby, that ain't for the aliens. Like, I feel like I kept my family so entertained with this stuff, but this is what I really, really thought. Another thing with cars, okay? So you know how you say a truck bed, okay? I used to think that that was a bedroom. So that you needed to have a bed in there and a nightstand and everything else. And like I said, my pappy always had this. He could have always gotten himself a new truck if he wanted to, but he always drove this really old Dodge truck, okay? And of course I had a truck bed, and he would always say stuff like, I'm gonna put the trash in the truck bed. So that's how I'd started hearing truck bed. And so I'm like, well, I wonder why there's not a bed in there. So I asked Pappy one time, why can't we afford a bed in our truck bed? And he said, honey, they just call it a truck bed. It ain't actually a bed. So this one is another one that I thought for way too long, okay? This has to do with double jointed. So I've always been like really double jointed, like my whole life. And anytime like my mom or someone would say, oh, she's double jointed, or talk about someone being, you know, double jointed, I would think that I had double the joints of everybody else. So I literally would go around and say, yeah, I have more joints than you. Like, that is how the verbiage that came out of me. I have more joints than you. And so one time my teacher thought that I was talking about joints. Yeah, and checked my backpack in the 4th grade. I thought this until I almost went to middle school. Not to mention, if you haven't watched my horrible teacher story time, I'll have it linked up here in the cards. That's the same teacher that checked my backpack. Yeah, so can you imagine? I also used to think that during like choir at church, that you could sing whatever you wanted to. Matter of fact, up until I was 5 years old, I used to serenade the church with the latest country songs. Just for instance, I used to sing Little Bitty by Alan Jackson. I've sang Strawberry Wine several times in church. I've also sang Boot, Scootin' Boogie. I mean, there's been several. And one time my mom, like when I got older, she was like, Morgan, you cannot be just standing up in the pew and singing, you know, Little Bitty by Alan Jackson. You've got to sing like, you know, Amazing Grace or something. I said, no, I'm singing to God. And this is what I want to say, you know. God's okay if I sing this. I also used to think that mountains were man-made. So I remember when I was even taught the difference of this, obviously it was in school, okay? And I remember my teacher talking about, you know, different landscapes. We were talking about landscapes. And I raised my hand really quickly. I'm like, oh, I know. And she's like, okay, Morgan. And I'm like, yeah, men make them. Duh, you know, they're there because men built them up. And she's like, are you talking about like Mount Rushmore? And I'm like, what's Mount Rushmore? I'm talking about all the mountains, girl. We're on a different page right now. Now, much like I used to think with milk, I also used to think the same thing with orange juice. So you know, like the section in the grocery store where the orange juice is. I used to think this with 3 different things, okay? Actually 4, but one of them is just very out of nowhere. But you know where the orange juice is in the grocery store, okay? I used to think that they freshly squeezed this orange juice with oranges because my nanny used to always make fresh squeezed orange juice. So I thought that's how all orange juice was made. Okay, I was probably around 5-ish, and we were at the grocery store, and my nanny would always get the carton of not Minute Maid, it was Tropicana or something, but it was in a carton, and she liked it to have pulp in it. And one day we go, and just like with the milk, they were out of this orange juice. And I was thinking, oh man, you know, same thing with the milk. They can't squeeze this orange juice, you know. And I found out about the orange juice long before I found out about the milk. I remember her asking the clerk, just like my mom did in Weigel's, you know, do you all have any of this type of orange juice in the back? She was like, yeah, let me go grab it. And I'm like, she came right back with this orange juice. And I asked my nanny, I'm like, how did she squeeze that orange juice so fast? And my nanny was like, what are you talking about, honey? And I was like, that's how you make orange juice. How the hell today? I also used to think, while we're on grocery store topics, there was also a lot of really weird grocery store things I thought. But one that I used to think, like, for, I don't know, probably until I was around 6, I used to think you had to have a license to push a buggy or a shopping cart. I also used to think that same thing with bumper carts. And I remember one year we were at Dollywood and I had finally gotten tall enough to ride the bumper carts. And my nanny asked me, baby, you want to go ride the bumper carts? And I was like, well, I ain't got my driver's license. And she said, you ain't got to have your driver's license to drive a daggum bumper cart. You can go. I also used to think that toothpaste was made by the Tooth Fairy. So I thought that the Tooth Fairy created toothpaste, you brushed your teeth, and that's how she kept up with you brushing your teeth. Because as you remember from the last one, she only collects your teeth if you brush them. She will not pick up your teeth if you do not brush your teeth. Also, with the Easter Bunny, I used to think that the Easter Bunny would not bring you an Easter basket if you ate eggs. So for the longest time, I would not eat eggs until, of course, I was debunked on this as well. Many things I would get debunked on, and that's when things just started to change. Just like I also used to think that Santa Claus would not stop at your house. I told you about the Christmas lights. Well, you also had to have a fireplace. If you didn't have a fireplace and a chimney, Santa ain't coming to town. That's what I used to think. There are just a few more of the weird, odd, crazy things I used to think when I was a child. I hope you guys did enjoy part 2. Be sure that you get this video to 20 likes if you want to see a part 3. I'm saving some of the better ones for last. So if you want to hear some really interesting and some off-putting ones, get this video to 20 likes and I'll tell you the best ones in the next video. Do be sure that you did comment the secret emoji down below. I do know that I forgot the secret emoji in the last video. I'm sorry guys, that beauty and documentary one was just a really hard one to make. I did put it in the description box though. We're getting closer and closer to 100 subscribers and I want all of my little darlings to be included in my 100 subscriber giveaway. Also, I have changed my uploading schedule just for my mental self because beauty and documentary breakdown can be really hard on you when you're talking about that sort of thing. So I will have my new uploading schedule on the screen right now. So do be sure that you do check that out so that you can be sure to watch whatever video that you're looking for. Those are the days that I upload. So I upload 5 days a week, every single week, my baby. And yeah, you guys, I love you all so very, very much. And until next time, bye.